How much
Yeah,
school
it was,
costs compared to
I
when
mean,
you went to
yeah,
school?
look at what happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
We help,
my
we do-
parents
we do
didn't help
our part.
me, so it was student
Me and
loans.
Joan do our part.
I worked 2 full-time jobs
Right.
while I also went to school full-time. It was hard, so
Yeah.
something like that would have been
I
nice to be able to
guarantee
you
help
it's-
buy gifts for, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because that was,
Well,
it was
evidently
crafty
they
because I made
started doing
everything.
that.
Right.
They must have started doing it, and they're calling it Blue Santa. Because I said, "Well, I've never heard that," and she said, "Well, it's fairly new."
Yeah,
And I thought,
It's a
well,
good
that,
thing.
that will be good for these, because they wish for things as well as
Yeah.
little kids.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, and it's like they also tell you if older kids come trick or treating,
Yeah.
don't say anything.
Yeah,
Just let them
you
trick or
just
treat
give them
because
the
you,
trick or treat. And
you
let
never
'em go.
know.
Yeah.
You know.
But she said, I told the lady asked me, said, "Can I sign you up again for next year?" And I said, "Oh yes," that I thoroughly enjoyed working with this young man.
Now, one thing at home that we have at school is called Friday Friends.
It's what?
Friday Friends,
Friday Friends.
and they have backpacks that they fill up for kids to go home on the weekend.
Oh, now
because
that's good.
they have very likely no
Pay attention to that. That's a good
foods.
student
Won't
council
get a meal,
thing.
won't get a meal.
That's
for it.
a good student
And they
council
have
thing.
little backpacks, and they put macaroni and cheese, little containers, and juice containers, and things like that for these kids because they have no
Yeah.
food till they get back to
During
school
the
on
summer, Alvin ISD will do that for kids who don't, who are used to having their discounted lunch
Uh-huh.
every single day. They'll do it to where their parents or whomever can still drive through the line
And
and pick them up a school lunch.
Okay.
So they can have at least 2 meals, breakfast and lunch.
But I thought about the kids that live out and they ride the school bus. And what if they don't have anybody
Well,
that
that's
come
true
in
too. Yeah.
to bring to
And
get
the kids bring
food
their
for them?
backpacks back, but they call them out on Friday afternoon. Friday Friends come up to the office, and they come up and get their backpacks.
Well, now that's a good idea.
And they're
Really
and they bring them
good.
back on Monday, the little backpacks to refill them
They're
before the
ready
next
for the
Friday.
next week.
I don't know if y'all been discussing this or not, but the only time me and my brother argue, and I mean we argue, we got a relative that is gay,
Uh-huh.
and my brother contends he can't have it. That's just the way it's
Okay.
wired. I said, well, my brother, I know you don't go to church, you don't look at your Bible, and I understand that. But why would our Lord condemn a lifestyle to HELL if he didn't want it the other way? I said, I can't buy that.
Yeah.
They choose to do that. It's a choice they make.
Well, we all have tendencies toward things.
We
I
all
would be
make
I would be a terrible gambler. I mean, I'm serious. I know that if I ever started, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
say I'll do better next time.
Yeah, it's
And I'll
addictive.
spend another dollar or another 10. So
Just one
what
more
do
time.
you choose? You choose don't ever start.
Absolutely
Because-
don't start. That's money I couldn't eat.
Well, yeah, that's true. But anyway, I mean, people make choices, and we all have tendencies toward bad things. Some have, whatever it may be. People have tendencies that they have to control, whatever it is, drinking, smoking, overeating, whatever your style is.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. But
Done that tonight.
there's just some things that's
Marcus,
too deep
Sorry.
for
Well,
me
you stay
that I
around
just
medicine.
can't get
It's
my
pretty
head
good.
around.
you like pretty good?
Yeah, it tastes like
It always hurts me to see little
Like
children
melted
and
vanilla
they
ice
do
cream.
something.
Is
Yeah.
that what it tastes like?
Yeah.
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 I like it because it's a lot thicker than eggnog.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand eggnog. It's got a wang
Well, we
to
just
it.
can't.
Yeah.
We don't drink the eggnog. Now we have eggnog at home. We have the
Yeah,
eggnog
nutmeg.
and the.
I think
well,
it's the
it
nutmeg
used to be
or
called
nutmeg.
boiled
Yeah.
custard, and now they changed the name to holiday custard. And
Well, your mother used to.
and Mama used to
Yeah,
make
she used to make
on
it.
every Christmas, she would be bringing that.
eggs and
I don't know how
yeah,
many
you
years
put it in
ago
a
it
big
was.
dish pan and
We
made a
were
big
down here at Christmas
wop of it.
time, me and Joan, and I guess the kids, some of the kids probably were with us. Joan, you remember?
I can't remember
But
now.
anyway, the women are going to Walmart. I said, I want to go because I want to get something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get with them, we go to Walmart. I know what I want, so I go in there and I go to the milk aisle, and I look, and I look, and I look. They ain't no
And
custard,
nobody,
no custard nowhere. I find an older worker that worked in that department. I said, where is your, I said, first I said, boiled custard.
Uh-huh, and they
And
had
she
no
looked at me
idea.
and she said, what are you talking about? I said, ma'am, you never heard of boiled custard? No.
He was still whining when we got up to the line, and there was this older
I
man that
found
was
two or three
behind
more
us.
older people.
Yeah. Well, this older man was from like up north, Kentucky or somewhere around us, but north of us. And he said, "I got news for you. They don't have it down here. I've been here looking for it, and they have
No,
never
they
had it
don't.
down
They
here.
don't
He
even know what
lives.
it, they don't
He
even know
lives in
what
there
it is.
now. He was funny.
We got eggnog. I said, yeah, I know you do, but I don't like
That's
it.
not,
I don't like
that's
it.
not it. That's not it.
yeah, that's the best we got to offer.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't even thought about it, for years now. I grew up.
Me and Joan was ready this time. We put 4 in the cooler and I brought it down here.
I told her, I said, "Oh, I'm just gonna pack yours." I said, last time I bought the stuff and made it, but I said, this time we're just gonna pack it and carry it with you.
That was you when we started going up north,
Oh, yeah.
bringing all your own seasonings.
What would she carry?
I would carry a shaker of my dad's seasoning
Oh, okay.
because
You couldn't get anything
No.
that
It was
so bland up there.
anything near like it. Yeah.
Because it
And
was too
everything
good not
was-
to take.
everything
There you
was
go.
bland.
Bland
And
and
Yeah.
salty.
you'd ask him for spicy, and it would just have some pepper on it. Like
Pepper.
Iowa was bad about
Oh, it
that.
was.
Pepper ain't even spicy.
He's dead and gone now, but I had an uncle on my mom's side of the family, and he said, now, Billy, he said, here's how you do it. You take your boiled custard, get you a bottle of Old Crow. And you want to pour that, most people, he said, want to pour it in the boiled custard. What you need to do is throw that ball of custard away and drink the whole
After all that. Shoot.
Well, that was like my uncle makes eggnog, and he makes the thick eggnog, and he will stand there for hours with a hand mixer, just mixing the eggs, mixing. And as time goes by, the eggnog gets stronger and stronger and stronger because he's been standing there so long. He just keeps adding it.
Oh, mate.
That one of your daddy's brothers.
Could have breathed fire off of that last time. That was.
The first samplings were good, and then the last ones were, it was like drinking straight off the road.
And Grandma didn't come, and Grandma's like, "Oh, let me get a glass." I was like, "Yeah, Grandma, here, have a glass." She takes a little. She goes, "Woo, Douglas has been out there a while." I was like, "Yes."
Well, go back 2 generations, and most of the gators over in the Mount Gilead Hills, all of them had their own still. They made that homemade stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It would
see,
eat the bottom out of a dipper.
Now, Mother seeing her growing up, now you think, now Mother was born in 1898.
Yeah.
And so her growing up, that was early 1900s, and she said in the mountains of Tennessee, that's how they made a living.
It
My
was.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't no way to make a
no ways.
living.
Yeah.
And that's what
Made
they
that
made their
stuff and
living
sold
by.
it. Oh, yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made it and sold it.
And you remember the relative that was the sheriff?
Yeah.
that-
Well, now Henrietta's give us a different spin on that because found out that that wasn't our grandpa that got
No,
killed.
but it was a relative. Was it
yeah,
not a
it was an
relative?
uncle.
It was an uncle or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that Henrietta had found out that it wasn't the grandpa, which was
Right,
good, but
right.
this guy was the sheriff.
Yeah.
And he'd gone out to pick up a guy that was making
Bootlegging.
moonshine, that was bootlegging. And, I mean, they knew each other, they were friends. And he said, well, let me go in and tell my wife that
Get my coat.
I get my coat and tell my wife bye. And he said, okay. So, and he stepped in and just reached his hand inside where his coat was and got his gun and shot the sheriff, killed him.
Oh.
Right there on his
Yeah.
porch.
Yeah, and it was an uncle.
It was, yeah.
But see, I'd always heard this story, and I don't know.
I've got the clipping of it at the
Yeah,
house.
I knew it was so. I knew it
Yeah.
was so. But it was a story they told about that Grandpa was on a train taking a prisoner to Atlanta, to the federal prison.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was the way it was. And they said that he didn't die right then. They took him back home, but he didn't make
But
it.
he did get shot there.
But he did get shot.
Those are different, those are not the
Different
same.
story.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
got shot, yes, but he didn't get shot with the
Right.
the
And
guy.
I could have swore that Mother told me when she was growing up. But now that can't be right either because Grandpa, her dad died when she was very young.
Yeah.
But it's something about they lived above the jail. Their apartment was above the jail, and that Grandma Young would cook for, if there's any prisoners, she would cook for them. You know, that was her.
Her, part of her job.
So I don't know how that all came about.
Worked and everything.
And that one had just jumped in my mind about
Well,
something
unless
like that.
Big Mama had been told that,
You know?
and, you know, Granny
And she
Young
was so
had,
young.
they had lived there,
Yeah.
and
Well, we
she'd
do
been
know
told
that,
that.
that we do know for a fact that Grandma Young, after her mother's daddy died when she was very young, and Grandma Young had to make a living for her and my mother, and the only way that she could make a living was to teach school, which no telling what kind of, she had some education or she couldn't have been doing
Right,
it.
right.
But she would leave Mother with her mother, and she would get on a horse, and she would ride from one little community, and she